Hi everyone, Adrienne Everheart. Today I'm going to talk about 3 reasons why your relationship is failing and exactly what you can do to turn it around. Now, I wanted to make this video for you just very quickly today because I had received a couple of questions, just one after another over at iHeart Love Academy, and I was like, my goodness, I could just answer these so quickly in a video about 3 reasons why your relationship is failing and how to fix it, because I don't want to just talk about what you're doing wrong. I want to tell you how to fix this. And as always, I share with you tips and techniques that are coming from a place of feminine energy and your feminine vibe, so you can realign with your energy, get back in touch with who you are aside from the masculine energy world that you are currently in and you've been born into, and it's been your only way to know how to survive up until this point is to be in your masculine energy. And then it's time to have a relationship with a man and it doesn't work out so great. But you will have benefits from feminine energy in your other people in your life too, even at work, learning how to manage this, learning how to effectively use your feminine energy. So let's get right to it. These are 3 reasons your relationship is failing and what to do to begin fixing them and turning them around. Now, the number 1 is you're not communicating. And I know you've heard that a million times, right? Communicate. That's what all therapists probably say, and books, self-help books out there about communicating. But it's not just communicating like, here's every thought in my head. It's not just communicating, telling your partner what they did wrong and why you would prefer it if they would have done it this other way. That's communicating, all right. That's telling someone the contents of everything in your mind. But if you are a woman, or if you are a person in your natural feminine energy, and you are in a relationship with a masculine energy partner, or you want to reactivate your partner into masculine energy, the first thing it's going to start is your communication and coming from a place of allowing the masculine energy to have space and time. That means a lot less of this and a little more of just observing, noticing, practicing the techniques I teach you to do with your body in my programs and in my ebook 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. I teach you things that you can actively be doing with your body that are quiet, that are silent, that are going to pull him towards you. And a man needs to miss you. He needs to feel that space of not having you, right there. And it's not that you're playing a game or anything, but you want to make sure that you create that space, because again, you've been in masculine energy for a good long while. You don't know any other way to be. You've just known, if I want something, here's how I go out and get it, and I tell someone what's wrong with this situation or what I'm feeling that's wrong or bad. That's just coming from a really masculine energy place. In fact, that's what men do with us. With women, and we don't really like it when they talk to us like that, but that's coming from that masculine energy place. So this is not about leaning forward, because I always get a comment in my comment section that someone says, this is too much work, it's leaning forward. It's not leaning forward. We're talking about communicating about what works, what feels good, what's nice. Every time my husband drives us somewhere and he gets us there safely, I don't care if it's a supermarket, I tell him, thank you for driving us so safely. If he gets a good parking spot, I go, aha, you got the magic today. I'm being positive. I'm not letting a moment slip by that I'm not connecting with this person. Now, you need to look for these at first, because if your relationship's in trouble, there's a good chance all you're seeing is everything that's wrong with your man. And if he does text you, he texts you too late or at the wrong time, you see. So I want you to start to look for what is working, and I want you to communicate it. And communicate less, meaning ask yourself, why am I about to tell him this? Why am I about to just mention this right now? What am I trying to get him to do or control the situation or the outcome? Begin to notice how much of your communication is used to kind of control and manipulate other people, and you're doing it, by God, you've come by it naturally. in a very innocent way. And by natural, I mean for generations and generations of women who your existence, your survival has been because you have learned how to be nice to a man. That's how women before you existed. They didn't have all the rights that we have now. And, you know, now that you have them, we don't know any other way to get anything except to kind of be manipulative or be nice. We don't really know. We've come by this honest, because for years, that's how we had to survive. That's how women survived. So if you want to learn more about communicating, I have an ebook called 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. It is jam-packed with communication methods, techniques, tools, scripts. I teach you how to do it because I want you to learn how to do this, not just copy me word for word. So I hope those have helped. Number 2, the reason you're having problems in your marriage or relationship is you have no life. You either have no life or your focus is so much on him or your children that your life is a thing of the past. So getting in touch with your life starts as small as setting a timer on your phone for 5 or 10 minutes and not thinking about anybody else but you. I want to tell you, on my busy days, that is sometime when I'm in the shower. And when I get in the shower, I start with me time. I put on my facial polish. It has a little bit of that, little acid in it. So I start with that. And I do some deep breathing in through my nose, out through my mouth, in through my nose, out through my mouth. That's my me time. I let that, sit on my face while I go and shampoo my hair or something else. And then when I get out of the shower, I push back my cuticles. That is my me time. I'm only focusing on me. So you got to take a shower. And if you have time to take a shower, you have time to focus on you. Now, I would love for you to expand on this and find other ways that you can cultivate your life away from your children and away from your husband. They have to miss you. They have to miss you. I should change the title of this video into people need to miss you. But remember, that's part of masculine energy, is that masculine energy has led you to believe that if you go do something else for half an hour an afternoon, that people are going to think they don't love you. That's the myth, and that's not true. When he texts you, just let that text sit there for about 10 minutes until you can really get into your body and find out what you feel. Don't just banter back to him. Don't just more, mindless communication back and forth. Connect your heart to his. Pause. Take some time to reflect, okay? The third one I want to share is about warmth. And again, a lot of girls, I will talk about warmth and they'll say, that is too much work. If I have to do it for him, I'm not doing this. We don't have to do all this for men. And you don't. You can keep doing what you're doing if it's working for you and if it's working for your relationship. But if you are watching my channel and you need some guidance on your feminine energy and how to really fix some things in your relationship that aren't working, I want you to learn warmth. Warmth is empathy. Warmth is listening. Warmth is not jumping to a conclusion about how to fix it. So often the best way to express warmth is creating space for that person to tell you how they feel or get mad or maybe even tell you off for just one little hot second. You're giving them that space. You're just giving them that space. That's not their right to tell you off every day. It's not their right to get mad. It's not, actually it is their right. They have the freedom to do whatever they want to do. However, you have your boundary. But give somebody a little space to be that way without jumping in and fixing it or getting into a big fight. And I do this one with my husband, especially early on in the relationship. I talked about parking earlier. Well, parking is sometimes a bad thing for my husband to experience. He does not like driving around looking for a spot. And I will see a side of him come out sometimes that is unlike any other version of him I see. Men sometimes expect cars to function perfectly all the time. Computers should function perfectly. Things should be perfect and work out. And we sometimes too get caught in this state of perfection, that things should work out perfectly, but it is in the imperfection that you find the beauty of your love and your marriage and of your life. It's in the imperfect moments that you are unfolding and you're getting in touch with who you are and that red beating heart inside of you and that soul and that spirit, if you want to go even further. It's when you're having the imperfect moments that you are experiencing life. It would be wonderful if things are perfect all the time, and maybe one day they will be that way. But right now, when you are experiencing that imperfection with your husband or your partner, I want you to learn how to offer warmth. Just offer warmth. There's so much that can be transformed by just looking someone in the eyes and nodding and listening and saying nothing. Even if you had something uncomfortable happen, your silence will say more to that man than any lecture, any self-help book, any therapist you go see. Your silence will speak to him because he's going to want to talk to you again. And if he wants to keep talking to you, he cannot be talking to you the way he does sometimes. And if he wants to keep going places with you and he acts like a fool when it's time to park and he can't find a spot, he's not going to get to go places with you anymore. It's a double-edged sword. But you also just allow that person space and some empathy to be kind of who they are. Instead of being mom, the manager, wife, girlfriend, the manager of all human behavior. We all need to behave this way. Also known as Queen of the World. And if you aren't familiar with Queen of the World, I have a video in my whiteboard series where I talk about her and her presence in your life. Let me tell you, I'm the biggest queen of the world there is. My big thing is people should not talk in airports, except people telling you where to go. Nobody should be talking in airports because I can't think. Oh, if I were queen of the world. All right, ladies, I hope that these 3 tips have helped you. I talked a little bit about communicating, but communicating effectively. It is not leaning forward, addressing problems and issues at a time when the two of you are not at each other's throats. I made a video about that recently. This is warm, compassionate communication. It's about being honest. Most people who wind up on the therapist couch, the therapist says there were things that needed to be said that no one was saying. And this is the really cool thing about pausing, dropping down into your body and finding what you feel, okay? The next one is you don't have much of a life. You need to enrich your life aside from your husband and your children or even your job. You need to have a rich, full, juicy life for yourself. So he'll miss you and you'll have things to talk about. You'll have these, really appealing, cool qualities to you that are fascinating. And the last one is warmth. A lot of that can be done with appreciation, which is also a type of communication, but just warmth in your energy. I'm not looking for perfection. We are just 2 beautiful humans on this planet, and here's what we're happening right now. And have this warmth to your vibe and your energy that instead of being closed down and cold and, well, he didn't message me last night, I'm gonna have this vibe about him or this way about him. Just open your heart to warmth. Warmth doesn't mean it's okay to be ignored. It's okay to have something bad happen to me. Warmth is about just, I'm keeping my warm, loving vibe going. My energy. Tap your heart, send him love. Tap your heart, send him love. Because if you're thinking bad thoughts about someone, anyone, it's not going to get better. So that's where your vibe comes into play, that warmth, okay? I hope these have been super helpful. Look into my book, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. I teach you how to get into your feminine body and speak from this place. So you don't have to keep watching all my videos. You can learn how to do this yourself. And I have a lot of other programs too. If you're new to dating, you're learning how to date, check out Fem Tools for Dating. It is one of the best programs I have because it gives you a whole protocol for feminine energy dating. All right, everybody, join my group over at I Heart Love Academy on Facebook if you haven't. And I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. Give this a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to be part of your life when I do live videos and things like that. And subscription is the best way to do it. Don't worry, there's no charge to subscribe on YouTube. All right, I got asked that question the other day too, so I thought I'd just throw that in. All right, everybody, much love and talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye-bye.